This is North Alabama's news leader. WHNT News 19 starts with breaking news.
That breaking news is that a DeKalb County Sheriff's Office is looking for a missing woman. 39-year-old Jessica Dry was last seen when she was discharged from Gadsden Regional Hospital around 5 a.m. this morning. She is 5 foot 10 inches tall, 175 pounds, and has hazel eyes with brown hair. If you know her whereabouts, call the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office at 256-845-3801. And thank you for joining us for WHNT News 19 at 10. I'm Kelly Smith. A man was rescued this afternoon near Gurley after getting hung up while paragliding. WHNT News 19's Joel Porter was there while it happened and talked with one of the flight crews who helped the man down.
A pleasant and sunny Saturday afternoon took a wrong turn for a man at the top of Keel Mountain.
This was a situation where they just needed our aerial support.
Huntsville Fire and Rescue called in some help from Aaliyah after a paraglider got hung up in a tree near Gurley.
This one was more technical just because of the nature of him being at the top of the tree.
The Aaliyah rescue team flew in from Montgomery. It took them about 4 attempts, but one of the crew members was able to free the man and get him back on the ground.
I think he had some issues with his legs just because he'd been sitting in the tree for, I think, roughly 4 hours.
It made for a long day for the adventurer, but it was a best-case scenario for rescuers.
I think he'll probably learn some lessons from this trip, but overall, I think he did really well. He kept his composure, which was good in this situation, and our guys that were on the line with him were able to help keep him as calm as possible as well.
Before the man was helped into an ambulance, Smith says some of his crewmen spoke with the man, but they're not sure how he got stuck. Smith says Aaliyah often trains with Huntsville Fire and Rescue, and they were happy to help. In Gurley, Joel Porter, WHNT News 19.
So far, the man has not been identified. He was taken away by Hemsey to Huntsville Hospital. We will update you on any new developments on air and on the WHNT News app. And WHNT News 19 was the first to tell you of this rescue through our news app. Download our app in the App Store or Google Play Store today, and be sure to activate your notifications to receive up-to-the-minute breaking news alerts. 2 days before Limestone County Sheriff Mike Blakely's trial was set to begin, it was delayed for a week after his attorneys filed a motion to continue Friday evening. His trial was scheduled to begin Monday. Over the last few weeks, his attorneys have tried multiple times to move that date back. An emergency hearing was held today to discuss the motion. WHNT News 19's Dallas Parker was there and explains why the judge granted the motion to continue this time.
Sheriff Mike Blakely's trial was delayed Saturday after his primary care physician took the stand at the Limestone County Courthouse. In this motion filed Friday, his attorney says Blakely was hospitalized suffering from acute respiratory failure, and he was tested for COVID-19. Judge Pride Tompkins referred to the motion's language as irresponsible, considering the general public's heightened concern about the illness. Athens Limestone County Dr. Maria Anoya addressed the court at the emergency hearing, and she says Blakely had not, in fact, been tested for COVID-19. She clarified he was tested for 4 strains of the coronavirus, including one that causes the common cold. All tests came back negative. This isn't the first time Blakely's attorneys have tried to reschedule the trial. Last month, Blakely's attorneys filed a motion to continue the trial for 30 days, saying Blakely's lead counsel, Robert Tootin, was recovering from surgery and would not be physically ready to argue the case. Tompkins denied that motion. Blakely's attorneys then asked the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals to overturn the judge's ruling, a request that was denied. A concerned citizen also showed up to the weekend hearing.
What goes on in Athens does not just stay here in Athens. You know, it affects all of North Alabama.
Huntsville-based civil rights activist Tremaine Crutcher believes the number of motions filed on behalf of Sheriff Blakely in recent weeks proves one thing.
The sheriff does have plenty of resources, and I think this is a clear example of the reason that we should have went with our first mind in the beginning of bringing this case out of Athens.
Dr. Anoya confirmed that the sheriff is still at Athens Limestone Hospital, and she is confident Blakely won't be discharged by Monday. Judge Tompkins agreed to delay the trial 1 week, a move Crutcher finds disappointing.
This is not just delaying this case for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. I think that this justice has been delayed for over decades.
According to Blakely's doctor, he has been receiving additional oxygen at the hospital. His defense says Blakely himself stated he was being tested for coronavirus. They apologize for not knowing about the different strains of the virus, but nearly 500 jurors are still expected to show up to the courthouse Monday. They will be divided into panels and return to court the following week for the trial to begin March 16th.
Friday, Judge Tompkins granted prosecutors motions to dismiss one of Blakely's third-degree theft counts and one count of using his official position for personal gain. The 10-term sheriff is still facing 11 other counts of theft and misusing his office for personal gain. Now let's go ahead and get a quick look at your Saturday night forecast with meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We reached 58 degrees as our official high in Huntsville. Sure, it's below the average of 62, but really it's rather comfortable outside. It feels like spring, even though the astronomical start isn't for another 2 weeks. Right now, though, 42 degrees in Huntsville. Chilly, though, in Meridianville, 38 in Meridianville, as I mentioned, 36 in Winchester, getting close to that freezing mark in Fort Payne. So that is the norm for us as we go into the spring months, where we start off rather chilly. In fact, frosty cold as we start our Sunday morning. But by Sunday afternoon, we're going to warm up nicely. But first, I want to show you, yes, we do spring forward tomorrow. That 7 a.m. is going to show up early, and those temperatures will be in the low to mid 30s as you start your Sunday. But look how quickly we warm up. By 9 a.m., we'll have a 10-degree jump, and then in the afternoon, it'll be beautiful. But seriously, go outside and enjoy that sunshine, because unfortunately, it's going away. We have more rain in the forecast. I'll tell you more about it in about 10 minutes.
Opening day for the Rocket City Trash Pandas may be more than a month away, but fans are already joining in on the fun. Toyota Field opened its doors for a season ticket holder sit in your seat party this morning. Hundreds of fans waited in line to enjoy the party in the stadium's concourse. They were able to visit the new Junkyard Team store, sample some free food, and have their photos taken with mascot Sprocket. There were also auditions held for the national anthem. One fan spoke on why she's excited for the first pitch.
It's just a family event. We're super excited. We got children. They're thrilled about it. We've gone and purchased merchandise who knows how many times, and so we've not yet been in the junkyard, but we're excited about that.
The Trash Pandas will play their first game on the road. Their first game at Toyota Field will be on April 15th. Senator Doug Jones spent part of his afternoon on the water while anglers were vying for the top spot in the 50th Bassmaster Classic. He hopped aboard the Yamaha boat and took a ride around Lake Gunnersville. He and some staffers, along with some media, discussed fishing, and the senator even took a turn behind the wheel. Senator Jones discussed how he feels about the Republican primary runoff in his re-election race.
Well, you know, it's been interesting to watch from my perspective, and I've said this before. I haven't seen a lot of substance in that. Nobody seems to be talking about what they want to do for Alabama or what they've done for Alabama, and that's been the substance of what we've been doing. But everywhere we go, we talk about the things that I'm doing for the people of Alabama.
He says he is going to continue to watch and see how everything turns out and start focusing on the fall and the big race in November. Senator Jones took part in day 2 of the 50th Bassmaster Classic. The so-called Super Bowl of fishing brings in millions for the state. WHNT News 19's Tiffany Lester explains how that money is from visitors who travel far and wide for this time-honored tradition.
A huge crowd braving the bitter cold and wind to see 53 anglers battle it out at the 50th Bassmaster Classic. This group calls Kingston, Ontario, Canada, home.
It's cold for down here. This is normal for where we are, but we're on a fairly big lake.
They're excited to see some of their own representing in the biggest bass fishing competition in the world.
Came down to see the 3 Canadians. First time 3 Canadians have been in the Bassmaster. So the sport is really growing in Canada, the professional bass fishing. So it's pretty amazing to come down here and see all this.
As for this group, they're visiting from a little closer by, Indiana.
Never been here before. Pretty cool to see the Bassmasters guys here.
Both groups say they've seen nothing but Southern hospitality while in town.
Just an awesome fishery, and like I said, everybody who's been down here has been nice, and it's not crowded like what you'd think it would be, and I mean, it's it's a good time down here.
Everybody's been so friendly. We were speaking to one of the sheriffs this morning. It was pretty amazing. He stopped, talked to us for 10 minutes, and everybody's been so friendly. It's been very, very welcoming.
Gunnersville Mayor Lee Dollar says the 3-day tournament is bringing in more than $30 million to the state of Alabama. She says most, if not all, of the hotels in town are booked up. In Gunnersville, Tiffany Lester, WHNT News 19.
Mayor Dollar also says the press after the Bassmaster Classic is a huge benefit to the local economy, drawing in visitors long after it's over.
As coronavirus worries continue, lawmakers look out for workers throughout the country. I'm Basil Drum reporting in Washington how lawmakers want to protect employees from losing their jobs.